Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Now, today I'm going to share a crazy story with you. This happened back in 2014. This was up in Austin, Texas. I went to this conference. There was this guy, his name's Ryan Dice. Ryan is a CEO of a company called Digital Marketer. And he had this product that I purchased. It was a $2,000 product. It's called, I think it was called The Machine. And it was one of the first online info products I ever purchased. And before I talk about anything, like I know sometimes uh, people ask me, like, well, Ben, who have you learned from? Uh, like, are these products online like the real deal? What I'll tell you is, like, back then, I would say the quality of the products are so much better than they are now. And the reason I would say that is because the types of people who were doing that were actually successful with that sort of stuff versus people who just put out products now that don't have success with, as far as being successful in that niche. And there's so many people now who just create courses and they're charismatic in front of the camera so they can make sales. Those people never pan out. This dude, Ryan, I believe at the time was probably doing around, I don't know, $1 million a month with his business. And he's like a legend in the marketing slash online sales arena. Anyways, I was at his event. And I was at his event because with the product that I purchased, attached with the product was like you got to come to his free event. And I will tell you, like, being at this event, it made me understand more how important sales is. And here's why. At the end of his event, this is such a vivid memory. And I've told this story to a couple of people that I know, and like, you can take this how you want. That this, like, I saw this firsthand. It was crazy when this happened. um, but at the end of the event, I looked at the chair that I was sitting on. Like, we had a break. I think it was like a coffee break, and you come back. And I looked at the table I was at, and each seat there was two things. There was an envelope, and there was food. There was like it's like a bag of food, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." They bought us lunch. Awesome. And this is, I believe, it was on the last day, and of course, I already knew what was going to happen. He was going to come up and talk and present something. And I remember sitting there, and this is probably illegal that I did this, but I wanted to do this just for the sake of learning. But I pulled my phone out and I recorded his conversation. And it sucks because I lost that recording when I got a different phone. But he had this, it was like a 30 to 45-minute presentation. And first thing he was like, "Hey, I want you to don't open the envelope that's, in front of you. Like, just leave it on the table." So right when he said that, it made everyone think, well, what's in the envelope? And then he goes on in his presentation, and his whole thing was he was trying to sell. Um, Ultimately, it was like this piece of software that was like awesome for sending emails and stuff like that. And it was a company that he partnered with, like, for this presentation. And like 95% of the people that were at this conference, I would say, like, probably needed this thing because, like, back then, email servers, that sort of stuff it wasn't that great. And you had to, like, patch together different types of software to, like, send out email campaigns and stuff like that. And there was like zero automation back then. And that's what this thing did. It was like automated. It was like incredible. And essentially, he had a 45-minute presentation on why, if you don't have this, how you'd be left behind. And so everyone's sitting there like, wow, this looks awesome. Everyone in the room already had businesses. They were like, he knew his audience. Okay. And what he did, and I mean, this was like insane. But what he did was, at the very end, he was like, all right, I want you to take out the envelope. And I opened the envelope, and it was an order form for the thing that they were selling. And like you literally take out your pen, you write out your information, and then you take it to the back of the room, and then they process your card, that type of thing. This type of marketing is very common at seminars, like where the keynote speaker will do something like this at the end. Like if you ever go to a seminar, it's guaranteed that this will happen, right? And it's a very good strategy for the person talking, because like they have your attention, they gave you food, you're now thinking that you need to have this thing and you have to have this thing. But I remember just sitting there, and I was just looking around the room, and there was at least 500 people in the room, right? At least. And I was like, wow, like he's going to crush it with this offer. And the reason he did crush it with his offer is because he was so good at sales. He was so good at communicating. He was good at getting the person to envision having this before they had it. So the cost of it was very minor, because the feeling of having this outweighed the cost of how much it was, right? And I'll never forget this. He was like, all right, we're going to be taking on the first 100 people who want this. And you need to open your envelope, fill out the paperwork, take it to the back. And it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like I knew I wasn't going to get it, because my business was not ready at that point to get something like that. But I sat there and I was looking around, and everyone was filling out the paperwork. And it was like a race for people to get to the back of the room. And the investment, it was $5,000. So in a 45-minute speech, he made $500,000. Now, here's why I'm telling you this. That day, I figured out one thing. Actually, two things. Number one, wow, anything is possible. Like I never seen someone make $500,000 in 45 minutes. I mean, it was ridiculous, right? I've seen people do more than that through seminars that I've gone through since then. But when that happened, the light bulb went off for me, and I was like, he has a skill that I don't have, and the skill is sales. The skills is persuasion. The skill is communication. If I don't learn that skill, I can't do what he's doing. If I have that skill, I can do what he's doing, right? And it's the same with you. You're not different than that person is. He probably just has a lot more reps. I'm sure he's offered that to other people in the past and it never worked, but he perfected it. And watching him do that, like, it gave me the self-belief. Wow, like anything is possible if you are good at communication, if you are good at sales, if you are good at persuasion. That's number one. And then number two is, if you understand your program and your product or your service, if you understand that inside and out, and you can deal with objections, like, you can not only close way more people into your program, but you get people who are committed and they're loyal and they're going to get the results. And it was so crazy sitting there that day, just seeing that unfold. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I was really encouraged when I saw that. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, you can take away from that story that, you know what? I'm probably playing small right now with what I'm doing with my business. I can be playing up to a different level. I can get to a different level. Will I get to a different level? Well, you got to learn some of those skills. And, that's why I have this podcast, guys. Like, I have this podcast to teach you, to help you figure things out, to help you get to that next level. And I know if you want, like, real hands-on help, we should be working together one-on-one. And I have that $500 discount right now. So if you want to take advantage of that discount while I have it, all right, text me at 210-960-5771. From there, we'll hop on a quick call, see if you're a good fit, see if I'm a good fit to work with you, and you can claim your spot. That's it. I'll see you later.